We've put in a pantry because free lunch is being challenged for the children. That school is 100% free lunch, meaning that all the students in there qualifies free lunch, so they're below the poverty level. The doctor determined he had 6 months to live. He lived 7 years.
Wow.
So that's how I knew that food is medicine. The definition of food desert, you have to be within or more than a mile away from a food, fresh fruit and vegetable access. There was an epidemic of drugs, and there was not an answer to that addiction. There are people just left out there to kind of figure it on their own. One of the greatest things to acknowledge people that we see as, or the society often sees as less than, because they might not look like us, they might not be doing the right things all the time, but there's reasons behind that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to InStar Podcast. I'm your host, Naveen, and today, we have got a truly special guest. I'm sitting down with someone whose work is changing lives from the ground up, literally. Lisa Freeman, the founder behind the Freeman Family Farm Store, is with us today. Lisa isn't just running a farm store, she's leading a movement. She's all about food justice, community empowerment, and making sure healthy, fresh food isn't a luxury. It's a right. She's a mom of two, an author, a community reformer, and she's doing all of this while navigating one of the toughest personal journeys anyone can face, supporting her husband through terminal cancer. And still, she shows up for community with a heart, purpose, and vision. Her farm store has become this incredible space where people come not only for a produce, but to learn, to connect, and to rethink the way we approach food farming and health. Lisa is deeply rooted in local food justice work, building food sovereignty, supporting undeserved neighborhoods, and inspiring folks to take part in creating a healthier, more sustainable future. So today, we are driving into her story, her mission, and the impact she is making every single day. Lisa, thank you for being here and welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I feel tremendously humbled.
It was our pleasure. Well, you're very well known in your Manchester community in Pittsburgh and associated with many events. For us who don't know you, who is Lisa Freeman?
Lisa Freeman is a person who loves playing in the dirt. That's my first and foremost love, playing in the dirt. Along the way, before I learned or found this love of playing in the dirt, I am a social worker by profession. I have a master's degree in social work, a master's degree in public administration. I've spent over 50 years in social work, working in the most impoverished and at risk and high crime, most lacking neighborhoods here in the city of Pittsburgh. And then after working so much with hardships and stress and crisis, with no respite, nowhere to turn, no one who could feed life into me and pick me up, I started becoming someone in need. And I say it figuratively. I started hearing voices, not really, but hearing voices of the cries of the people and not having any way to relieve that. And my relief I found was playing in the dirt and growing things and building up that passion of bringing life into something that was half dead. That was what I found in playing in the dirt. And it just grew from there.
So you built like a vast farm store, which is really beautiful. I've seen that a few weeks back. And so you always have this passion to grow something or build something, such a beautiful greenhouse and the chicken farm you had. So, can you tell us about that? Like, is it like how your childhood was and what transformed into this kind of a very community hobby?
How my childhood began?
Yeah.
Well, my childhood, it began in a very troubling way. And about the age of 9 or 10, my mother started doing, and we grew up in the harsh world of Long Island in New York, where people migrated from the South, a great migration from the South and farms and picking cotton. My mother went north to seek opportunity, and she encountered a very hard life in New York. She had to work three jobs as a domestic and low-paid wage jobs in order to survive. And trying to get her piece of the pie, she worked very hard, and we achieved middle income status with owning our own home at the expense of my mother's well-being and mental health. As a young child, I started witnessing her exhibiting some strange behaviors, such as walking around unkept and not speaking and going into her own world and talking to herself. And as a young child, I didn't really understand what was happening. And then it became known that before that word was ever mentioned, I heard it through her diagnosis, and which was that she had schizophrenia. So as a young child, as the oldest of 3, I became the mother of the house. And early on, I remember committing my mother to the state mental institution of New York, and I was about 13, and I became the caretaker. So I learned at a very early age that life was hard. And then no one in New York came to our rescue, not anyone in the schools. We were absent, we were truant, not neighbors, not people across the street, not anyone. No one came to my rescue. So as a child, and then growing up and raising my sisters and looking over my mother, multiple occasions of being committed to mental wards, hospitals, police, ambulance, coming to the house and bringing her home, I got out of that house and came back to my extended family here in Pittsburgh. And it was those formative years that brought me into the world of social work, because I didn't want another child or anyone else to ever feel like you didn't matter. And that's how I felt as a child. No one came to our rescue. So it was my purpose to be that rescuer. That's how I began social work and being involved in the most at-risk communities. The neighborhoods or people that were so marginalized, I call them the throwaway people, because they didn't matter. So I devoted my time and attention to serving the underdogs, the people who needed the most attention. And that's how it all began.
So it tells me like you became like so responsible as an early teenager. Like that's like playing time for everyone. You took your mom's responsibilities, and you supported your family. That's like, I think, very hard to do for a generation like us, for us, like everything is given. Most of the time still we are not that grateful. So I understand the pains you took and the life you built on, and still you're not trying to enjoy, but you're supporting the community.
Right.
But like, when did you first move to Pittsburgh? Like, is it your marriage or what?
My extended family was always here. My grandmother moved from the South. She landed in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh still wasn't fast enough back then, 70 years ago. It wasn't really a booming town. So my mother graduated from Pittsburgh and moved to the bright lights, and moved to New York. So that's where, my formative years started. But New York was not where I wanted to land. So after I graduated from high school, I returned back to Pittsburgh, where my extended family was. And that's 60 years ago. And Pittsburgh is my home, in which I will remain until my early demise. This is home to me.
So when you moved to Pittsburgh, how it was like compared to now?
It was slow. Pittsburgh is a lot slower than New York, but that's the kind of life I like. I don't like the hustle, bustle, bright lights. It was slow, and it's more compassionate. It's more Mr. Rogers, that feel-good feeling where everybody knows your name. Where I live in Manchester, it's a historically Black neighborhood, so everybody was in the same boat, the same situation. Now, today, Pittsburgh is not a place for Black women, for minorities. It's not progressive enough. There is no real middle class. There's not a neighborhood that's an uplift neighborhood where Black people are upper middle class or upper level in society. It's a struggle. Pittsburgh is a struggle to live here. Even with 2 degrees, I've never reached middle income.
So you're saying like means when you say like 60 years back, you're talking about almost like 60s and 70s, beginning of 70s. So then I believe like the steel companies left Pittsburgh.
Yes, right.
And I heard like there was like more than 700,000 people living in Pittsburgh. So half of the city was, compared to now, size-wise, decreased. So I don't know how soon it happened, but when you say like we are not in a better position now compared to then, that's still we should think about that, because what I was feeling like Pittsburgh is always been stable for employment. That's what I was.
Universities, the healthcare, now it's technology. But people of color don't find themselves in those arenas. We find ourselves unemployed, permanently unemployed. We are out of the job search market. I mean, the unemployment rate amongst people of color, they don't even count us anymore because we've been out not looking for jobs. There's other ways you can make money that, why put yourself through the hassle of trying to look for a job and getting turned down multiple times.
Even like in these 60 years, I believe like there were a lot of reforms. Do you think like the community is not taking when I say community, the community who identify them as color is not taking those opportunities, or it is like still some, work needs to be done in the root level, not like, if a person wants to go college, a school, he cannot directly go by himself. There should be right from his childhood. He need to have that nurturing, right? So are you talking about those things, or because there is an equal opportunity, companies to try to at least hire to make sure follow some kind of a distribution? There
is now, or there once was, but this administration, that is no longer in existence. No, okay. That's gone.
So how long you think that is happening? Like last 10 years, or when that started deteriorating?
I think I'm getting off your subject and digressing a little bit, but it's a very important topic for me.
Because this is what we wanted to make.
Yeah. So in the Black community, and I'll just address it to the Black community, with the epidemic of the crack epidemic, which was, we'll say 30, 40 years ago. Now we have several generations of the crack epidemic, the next generation, and then now the next generation. So when the crack epidemic came, that ruined the whole foundation of Black families, because there was an epidemic of drugs and there was not an answer to that addiction. There are people just left out there to kind of figure it on their own. And the answer was incarceration. And then it went from addiction to being jailed. And then it split up the Black family. There's no fathers in the home. There's no supervision in the home. There's no discipline in the home. You had a home now that had a single head of household, mother, single head of household, left to work, control a household, raise kids, and manage a limited amount of funds. So a single mom had to account for that. And then the schools were failing. There was not opportunity, an equal opportunity in the public school system. When I Originally, I'm from Moon Township, a suburb, a white suburb, and I moved into Manchester within the city. Everyone has the misconception that all schools are the same. That is not true.
Yeah,
it is
I know
false.
That. Yeah.
Very much so. A lot of people don't understand that. If you've only lived in Pittsburgh or the city of Pittsburgh, this is all you know. But if you've ever lived anywhere else, in Moon Township coming here, I had a culture shock. I didn't know anything about drug dogs. I didn't know anything about security, going through the machine, being pat down, being monitored, and school police. What was that? We never knew. Not having a PTA in a school, like, oh, are you kidding me? Every school had a PTA.
For people who don't.
Parent Teacher Association, where a group of parents would, raise money so the kids in the school could have extracurricular activities, fun, outside things. Schools are so depleted and deprived financially and with resources. Well, you want to wonder why kids can't achieve when schools are not teaching or because of a lack of resources. So if kids don't, and then there's an education gap. If kids are not reading or understanding math, by the third grade, there's already a formula. It's a real thing. By the third grade, if you're not at a standard, they're already budgeting the next jail cell for kids.
Okay, so the school is a big topic. I've explored few things in the school, but I know like you're doing so much even for the school year. Farm is associated with a school.
That's how we started with the school community farm.
We want to know that story.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about?
We started. That's from playing in the dirt. That's where I loved playing in the dirt. We started at a school community garden alongside the side of Pittsburgh Public School, Manchester. It's our neighborhood school, and for people who don't know, you have to understand the school hierarchy, and the neighborhood school is like the bottom of the barrel.
So, just wanted to hold on that. The school district is Manchester Public School, you're saying?
The school district is Pittsburgh Public School. That's the district.
Okay.
Our local neighborhood school is Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah, preschool 48. So we started that as a PTO funded development. At that time, my late husband, Wallace, he had a school-based program, and I did the community-based program, which was the garden. And in that garden, we took kids out. And the garden started because when I came there, the kids were so aggressive. They were so filled with anger and so much energy. They spent a lot of time fighting rather than being able to sit still and concentrate and focus on the class and learn. They were just angry. And sometimes it came from their home that came with them into the schools.
Most of them are which age group when you're talking about kids? Like, is it like an elementary level?
Well, that school is pre-K through 8.
Okay.
So we would say from maybe third grade to 8. And I didn't know, but as a social worker, I'm going to combine the two things that I like. I'm combining playing in the dirt and that pile over there by the school. And we started and we planted that garden, and that garden was life-changing. And that garden was funded by our previous mayor, Luke Ravenstall. He had a program called, can't even think of it now, but it was his signature project, and we were the last group that took advantage of it. And the mayor was so impressed with what I did, we became a model. But going back before that, the kids were so interested in playing in the dirt, they didn't even have tools. They couldn't wait for the tools. They were digging in the dirt like little puppies, and watching it. The whole goal of that garden was to give the children an opportunity to nurture and take care of something other than themselves, to learn the skill of caring for something, because they were not caring. They were aggressive and angry. Mm-hmm. So in order to teach them that skill, we took planting an inanimate object like a plant. If it dies, okay, you just put another one. You try it again. So there was no harm, no foul. There was no competition. There was no competing. There was no right or wrong. We're just going to learn together. And they watched it, and all they had to do was watch it. Some of them were talking to it, would plant it, would go out and be in the sun. You could hear the birds. And right at that area, it was at the basketball court. And what typically happens at schools and basketball courts in the hood in Black communities is the drug trade. That's where people often sit there and smoke or whatever. And that's what would happen. And when I started, the drug trade was there, and people who had dropped out of school because school failed them. They didn't have opportunity to go on to develop their lives or develop any skills with no marketable skills. They had nothing to turn to other than the drug trade. And they sat there and they would watch me. And I had long dreadlocks, very long dreadlocks at that time. And they would whisper to themselves, they would call me Voodoo Woman or the Jamaican. They never knew my name. I never knew their name.
Okay.
And they'd watch me, and they'd have the loud music on, and they'd be smoking marijuana, and they'd watch me. And then eventually I'm walking past them, and one day I stopped because I knew they were going to laugh at me when I walked past them, like, look at that woman. And I stopped before I passed them, and I asked them, which one of you are going to help me? And they looked at each other. They were surprised that I even talked to them. And you're like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Like, I knew I had them when they said, yes, ma'am. So and they came and they helped me. And then the ones that were behind, they started laughing at the first one. We go, ha, she got you. I'm like, don't laugh, because I still got a few more trips. You all going to help me. And so by the time we came back, they were gone. But that one who helped me, he stayed to help me. And then eventually they all helped me. But I had started a conversation with them, and I would still mess with them. Like, what are you guys doing here? You're not doing anything. Come and hold this hose. Come and water this plant.
Them and
Yeah. And eventually they became our biggest champions. They watched our garden. They made sure nothing happened to it. And then eventually the drug trade moved because they respected me. And you see the Jamaican woman over there. You see the dreadlock. Don't be smoking around here while she's here. So I won them, and that was one of the greatest things, to acknowledge people that we see as, or the society often sees as, less than, because they might not look like us, they might not be doing the right things all the time, but there's reasons behind that. And to acknowledge them and to engage them, I care for them, and they gave me the ultimate respect. And that's what it's about, building up the community.
Yeah,
that's what it's
definitely
about.
Yeah. So like I think somebody has to touch them, like how you touch them. What you're saying, it not only you have the funds, but it also the community needs a person who can touch different people and bring them together.
Right.
I definitely see that in you. So I don't think like when you started the farm was not like this. Like you had from the beginning when you got the funding from mayor, you built the greenhouse, or it's like came later on, like which year?
Well, it started from the garden. We worked the community school garden for 5 years, and then a mishap happened, and I was tired and frustrated because we didn't have money to do that. We had to go out and raise funds and build up the community, and that little farm began its own little movement, and we were on a documentary, and foundations were supporting us, and we were talking with the school district, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We had a close relationship with all the major foundations. We had a high-risk summer program. We were doing it. We had no budget, but we were bringing in different nonprofits and entities and working very smart. And after 5 years, something happened. I'm like, okay, I've had enough. I was very frustrated, and I told everybody I quit. And I went to another site, but these sites were on publicly owned land.
Okay.
And at the second site, again, we had a beautiful situation, but I was on someone else's land. And where I met you is land that I own, where we ended up. We bought a condemned warehouse from the city of Pittsburgh, and we tore it down, and then we built our own homestead that you were so gracious to visit us. Yes.
It's a I really like that how you build it. So, like, what kind of programs right now you work with the schools? Like, how many different programs you're tied up with?
We have, since we started, we've been working with the school for about 15 years. And it's been an up and down kind of road because the school districts, back again with schools, they don't have consistent principals. A principal might be there for 3 years and then they're gone. And then another I think in the 15 years, they've had about 5 principals. Some principals aren't invested into planting. Some principals have been interim. Some of them haven't even been principals. They've just had to have a figurehead. And they're more interested in testing to the test, passing those literacy competency tests.
Correct.
And there's no time for anything else. So we have done things hit or miss and invited them and encouraged them to attend, and they come in their own different ways. Right
Okay.
now we've put in a pantry. We've built a pantry for the schools, and we saw the need because free lunch is being challenged for the children, and then the SNAP, our recent SNAP development. That school is 100% free lunch, meaning that all the students in there qualifies for low income or free lunch, so they're below the poverty level. And it was important for us to make sure our most vulnerable, the kids, are able to eat.
And a beautiful thing to do. So also for our viewers, like Freeman Family Farm Store is first in the nation for kind of things it does, and it gives a model for other people to follow. So go and visit their website and see what beautiful things they are doing for the community. So like you also offer like different natural foods, and you brought up this organic story. Also, can you tell us like how you got into this organic and healthy living, and also supporting through your farm? I know like your husband went through terminal cancer. So can you tell about that?
We started this because we had already started growing, and we were growing just for the reason of making sure our community was healthy. We grew and we gave everything away. We had an outdoor pantry. We put everything. People were free to come and take. When we bought our own property, when we tore down the building, we weren't sure if we were able to grow. And we were testing the ground. We would bring in compost and see what would happen. And at that time, we were growing in small batches. And then COVID came and the world shut down. But we were still growing. And at that time, my late husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He had pancreatic cancer, which is not curable. Even to this day, it's still not. At that time, he had 6 months to live. And I had also at that time enrolled with Bidwell Career Center to participate in their culinary department. So I went and learned how to cook, and cook fresh and cook with fresh herbs. And I would bring things home for him to try. And he loved it because he's from the South too, and his mother would cook fresh. And incredibly, he was a big man and had a lot of girth around his middle. And he lost weight, his sense of well-being, being in the sun, listening to the birds, people coming to visit him. And he started eating what I was growing, cut back on the red meat, just being mindful. And instead of 6 months with the doctor determined he had 6 months to live, he lived 7 years.
Wow.
So that's how I knew that food is medicine. I'm convinced it was the food. And when he went and he first screened that there was no cancer there, the doctor said, whatever you're doing, continue it. And he did. And we were very thankful that, the years went by. And then when the cancer returned, it came back with a vengeance. But all along, it was always terminal. But we were very grateful for 7 years, and we accounted with what he was eating. That's what made the difference. Food is medicine.
Food can be a medicine, and there are many stories like this. We can dig into or connect with Lisa Freeman to more about those strategies about food and how she can help us as well. And also, like when you say, you also describe nourishing our neighbors. What does it mean actually?
Nourishing Our Neighbors is a meal prep class. Our farm and store, we focused on our most at-risk neighbors, people with cancer, hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and pregnant mommies. Those are our most vulnerable, and the elderly. We make sure they get the ultimate quality food, as well as everybody who comes in. Our vegetables, we maintain that our vegetable section is always filled because it's important to eat those fresh fruits and vegetables. And we had classes there, and our classes were a little bit different. Most people have a class and you have a culinarian or a dietitian come and they talk to you and you're like, yes. When you want to eat what you want to eat, you're halfway listening because you want to eat your sugar. You want the Snickers. So it's not in a dietitian. It's very fun. And it turned into something that the first one we had, all the people who registered were people or family members of a loved one who had cancer. And so they all came, and we had about 8 people there in a very close and intimate space. And I gave them a recipe, and I flipped the script. I'm like, I'm not telling you anything. You're going to tell me. And we broke the teams up in 2 groups of 4, and one took the recipe, and they went to perform cooking it. And the other group were the judges. And so they got to critique what the group A was doing in making whatever the meal was. And so they were like, oh yeah, they did a good job. I'm like, did they really? Let's look at I don't know, if we were making a salad. We were making a salad and I put all the ingredients down, uncut, unbagged, whatever, and whatever was in the salad. I'm like, oh, did you notice that they did not wash their hands? Like, how are you going to cook? You didn't wash your hands. Do you know what kind of germs? That's very basic. And then like, oh, okay, yes. So like, so already you're already sick because you didn't wash your hands. And now, okay, everything else was all right? Yes, everything else is right. Well, I noticed that if you look on the table, there's a green pepper there. I noticed that little label is still on the green pepper. Yeah. Did you eat that label off the green pepper? Did you cut that out? You have to take the label off. Did you see them wash anything off? Yes, they did wash, but they use water.
Yeah.
Like some people use a vegetable detergent to make sure, because on vegetables, you ever go to a store and they have that greasy, waxy kind of film on your cucumbers?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the shiny vegetables always have some kind of coating. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to eat that?
No.
Why not?
Because we don't know what is it. It could be a wax or like. That's
right. It's some kind of nonsense, some foreign object that's not really meant to be eaten. Like so to teach them how to clean their vegetables. Okay. There's a proper way, and then to teach them the nutritional components that are in the food. To teach them what type of foods. If you've been in chemo, it depletes you. What type of food can add more energy back into your body?
Correct.
Like
real food.
Yes, real food. So lettuce is good, but spinach is better. Spinach has more protein in it, has iron in it. And when you go through chemo, you need that iron. So you can do that by eating spinach instead of like iceberg lettuce. We would teach things like that.
So like, so your focus is like, especially on the cancer patient diet, or is it like any health diet, a balanced diet?
Any health diet. We talk about, any health issue. It's the same diet, just learning which foods can complement whatever you're going through. Or if you want to know additional foods that are high in protein, taking out red meat or limiting your red meat. What are protein substitutes? Beans, fish, tofu. So understanding all those and learning how to balance meals and calories and nutrients. It applies to everybody, no matter what challenge you might be facing.
So do you still offer those courses in your?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We don't offer them as often because we're challenged with running on a bare bone funding. We've been challenged with White House, USDA grant cuts. I'm trying to say that in a nice way. We've been challenged with, like everybody else.
Was it recently those cuts, or is it like? Okay.
Yes, they were.
So you're also tied up with Penn State and UPMC. I've seen the other day, like the UPMC personnel came and showing some information. So can you talk about those things at your farm?
So we partner with anybody and everyone who brings a service, and they kind of look to join with us because they don't do outreach, and we have enough community support where we have outreach. We have a list of 700 neighbors who have come to our doors who want to take avail of eating healthy and feeling better and having a better quality of life. So when they're looking for people to participate, we're an easy collaborator. We work with Penn State. We work with as well as classes, but they also assist us in our greenhouse. We work with Chatham University. We also partner with their farm. They're one of our suppliers, as a matter of fact. We work with UPMC and their cancer. We work with Department of Aging, our seniors and our elderly. We work with a lot of people in providing support services.
Okay. So like for all the programs you have, you talk about food access to the communities.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us about what is that, like food access to healthy food, nutritious food? Do you think there is a challenges in these areas?
Food access, we live in a food desert. So having fresh fruits and vegetables within, I think the definition of a food desert, you have to be within or more than a mile away from a fresh fruit and vegetable access. So there is nowhere walkable that we can get within a mile. And if you take a bus, it's going to take you time to get there, round trip, maybe a transfer and back. So where we live, it's going to be time consuming and a little expensive. So there's nowhere walkable. Another access issue is that we live within the north side. There's 18 communities, and we service the whole north side. We service everywhere. We have people coming as far as Penn Hills, Plum, that's another county, Beaver County. So we're beyond just the city. But in our neighborhood of the north side, there's many housing developments, low-income housing developments, and they're often way up on a hill. So this past summer, we had the initiative where we took the farm to them, and we took our healthy eating demonstrations and food bags. We spent a considerable amount of time in Northview Heights several times, Fineview several times, Arlington, there's a housing, we went there. So we partner with the Housing Authority, City of Pittsburgh.
So you're going like places where you feel like low-income communities or where there is a need.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like I know like I've seen the produce in your place, like they're all like reasonable prices, very high quality. They look very good. And can you talk about, like, you also tied up with the Giant Eagle? Can you talk about that?
Giant Eagle, we are so fortunate to be the first. That's where the first in the nation. This model is really new. Giant Eagle says that they have never, they have attempted this. This is a pilot with other type of organizations, but never someone like me. I'm a little bit different. I'm very small, but they have a new motto, because it matters. What they do, everything they do is because it matters. We in the food desert community, they saw us and thought, this is a good time and opportunity to walk alongside Miss Lisa. And with their buying power, it's been a real blessing because we are so small, we can't buy wholesale. And that's why the food deserts exist, because no one, you need so many households in order to turn a profit. Well, we don't operate because we're a social economic venture, meaning that we don't do this to earn a profit. We're here to provide a service. So we're service oriented. We're not looking to raise and make a profit. We're trying to keep it low so it's accessible. Yes, so everybody
That's
can
a wonderful program.
Have quality life and opportunity to eat fresh and be healthy.
So it's a very wonderful program, I believe. And also, like, other than food, how you make it available for everyone, what actually you grow in your greenhouse, which is a very big and nice one. And do you only grow in summer, or is it like?
Well, in the past, before my husband died, that was a fully operating greenhouse. And up until now, where I met you, we just built our facility last year. So the facility, it's been a long time going. We were challenged with zoning problems, with regulations, with Department of Health. There's other reasons why food deserts exist, because there's so much bureaucracy. So our greenhouse was down while we were developing and building the store. This coming year, we're in the process right now of getting the greenhouse together, where it can be fully functioning and working at an efficient, churning out year round. And in times past, we grew a whole farmer's market, meaning all vegetables that you can get from a store. This year and the coming, we want to be very intentional, where our food security was challenged with the SNAP shutdown and the precarious economy that we're in, and food prices being so high. We're trying to aggressively address food security and grow the foods that are of most valuable to us. So we will not be insecure.
That's I think soon, I believe, like, that can be a nice visitor place for kids.
Yes.
And you also said, like, other people coming from other cities also visit your farm.
Yes.
Okay, yes. That's an interesting thing, and a lot of people don't know, but this is a beautiful farm. If you get a chance, please go and visit the Freeman's farm. It's very close to downtown, and you can also buy groceries for a very economical price. And with my discussion with you on the other day, you talked about upscale restaurants and food deserts challenges. So what is actually, people who don't know, can you tell us those challenges?
Well, right alongside of us, that Esplanade development, it's right on the other side of us. And that's been in development for a number of years. And when I talk about it, I have a love-hate relationship with the Esplanade development. Piat, Millcraft. They are building $740 million marina development. They are going to build upscale luxury apartments, a marina, a tourist trap, a destination place with this giant Ferris wheel in tribute to Mr. Ferris, who lived here in Pittsburgh. So it's a tourist attraction, and that has brought in to develop this, to bring more tax revenue to the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm going to say, this is my PSA, at the demise of us, the adjoining neighborhood of Manchester, for them to use our low income designation for their tax breaks and everything that they're developing. They're doing it on the backs of Manchester residents, our low income status. We get absolutely nothing out of it. We've got infrastructure, but so has everybody else in the city of Pittsburgh. We've got a bike trail, but so have other neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh. We do not have a community benefits agreement. We do not have an agreement that minority and women-owned businesses get any kind of help. That we have not been asked to bid on any kind of things that they're going to bring there. We do not have any aid to our school that is closing. We know they came in, and because that's $740 million that they've been flaunting in the newspapers, a generator by the USDA has caught on to that and has determined that, oh, well, Manchester is now affluent. They've got this influx of money coming in. They can't possibly be a food desert anymore. So that designation was taken away from us. And without that food desert designation, then that makes me ineligible to apply for grants that call for you to be within a food desert. Meanwhile, nothing has changed. We are still a food desert. I'm not big enough to solve that problem of alleviating us not being a food desert. And they don't feel a corporate responsibility to say, we caused you harm. We've now attacked your bottom line. We've taken all the resources out of you, and they're not going to have, they promised to put a Trader Joe's in there, and that's not going to be finished or ready for another 4 years. So you've left us without any kind of benefits.
So
you've given us nothing.
So did you, like any of the community rep, took these grievances to the proper?
Oh, I took it to them directly.
Okay.
But, prove to us that we did this. And no, you haven't proved to us sufficiently. So we're not taking blame for that.
Did you take to like news channels?
Oh, I sent them a press release.
Okay.
Like, who the developers.
Yeah, they're more powerful.
More powerful than one Miss Lisa, who's a social worker sitting by herself taking care of the poor. Who cares?
Yeah, food justice and health equity in your community. You wanted to make it more thriving, but some of the challenges, like in any neighborhood or any cities, these are the challenges. So one committed person, if she's fighting, we need to support not only the community, like other people who can.
Yes.
Has these resources, should try to keep these food deserts and farms like this for the future generation and the current generation to see and learn from this.
Yes.
It's not only like the mechanical and mechanized world, but also some things which actually create the vibrancy in our community.
And I would say that we're also we're more than just a farm. We're a community center. We bring the elderly there. We bring them back to life. They're not sitting and pining away and rocking away lonely and wondering what's going on. They're there. We bring the children there. There's happiness. We have visitors coming from now. When they come out of state, they come looking like, oh, we heard about you. We have music going on. We had Mr. Rogers celebration.
The celebrations.
Yeah.
And you're also planning Black History.
A Black History
So
celebration.
when is that happening?
It's Black History Month is celebrated in February, so it's going to be somewhere during the month of February.
Yeah, that's for people who wanted to join those. Please reach Lisa Freeman. Mm-hmm. And so, coming to your book, can you talk about your book that you wrote? And it had a fantastic title.
Well, I don't want to make sure that it's okay to say it because I've been censored. The book is called "We Don't Want a Fucking Farm on Our Street."
Yeah,
and that is a direct quote by a neighborhood leader who is the executive director of Manchester Citizens Corporation, the development corporation that kind of runs Manchester, a corporation that I also was a board member of until they kicked me off because they only had me on the board so they could butter me up and try and take my property. And then once that didn't happen or work, that was the statement that she said to me: "We don't want a farm on our street." So that was quite toxic, and that tormented me. That statement was made while my husband was going through chemo, and we're worried about the continuation of his life while he was battling cancer. And I harbored a whole lot of anger behind that. And once I could see clear, I took that anger and I turned it around and I wrote a story about it. I wrote the book, and
So
that's
it's
the
about that.
title.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the title.
Where people can get that book? Is it available in the
It's
market?
on Amazon.
Okay,
Yes.
that's nice. So coming to our fastest round, rapid fire, you can answer one sentence or one word. It's up to
Okay.
you. What inspired the start of this meal prep initiative?
Having people have an opportunity to live a better quality of life by eating healthy.
How do you source your ingredients?
We partner with other local urban farms.
How can someone get involved in the program?
You can always just come and visit, and we have special work that we always need done. Or you could come to go to our website, freemanfamilyfarmstore.com, and send me a message.
How do you measure success of your community?
Success?
Yeah.
Just having those sweet little moments when a child draws me a picture and says, I love Miss Lisa, or I love the farm, or see someone come out, with their head down from cancer. But when they leave, their head is lifted up. They're feeling like, I'm not in this by myself, and I have a place to go that's going to come and support me.
Cool. What is the surprising benefit participants have shared?
They're in remission. Yeah, they're in remission.
They're in a mission. We'll remember that.
Yeah.
How do you keep your meal prep fun and engaging?
It just naturally does. Just the questions and the camaraderie that results. It's just naturally fun. Yeah.
If anything that nobody knows about you until now, can you share something about you or a hobby, something?
I love to travel. Travel is my love language. And I said to someone yesterday, 4/7/27 is when I'm going to retire. And that's when I hope to, that's my measure of success, when I can retire. And if I were younger, I would move to St. Croix and buy me a property there and probably start farming there and teach the next generation of Crucians how to farm.
Okay. That ends our rapid fire. Like how our viewers can reach out to you, or in which way they can support you? Like if there is anything, can you?
Please come and see us. We are located at 1426 Juniata Street in Manchester. Our zip code is 15233. The store is open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And guess what? We also offer appointments. I live upstairs, so I'm almost always there. Please feel free to call me at 412-290-9294. If you need flexible hours to come and shop, I'm always available. Please come and see us.
Yeah, just to add that, she also has some celebrations out there here and there. So you can check her website. We'll put all the links in our description. But also, I would encourage people to go and visit with your family whenever you get a chance.